737 days.
Oh, you win there. Let's start this countdown. I'm going to invite Greg right as I send that link. Yeah. If you're out there, what's going on? Let's start the countdown. There you go. Started. Remember to put what team that you represent into the comments. We're focusing on this injury report today, guys. We're really just going to talk about the two main teams here. Got a big game tomorrow. There you go. I'm going to throw the YouTube stream right into the comments right now. If you want to follow along on the YouTube. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, George. Good morning, Jordan. And Calvin. Oh, we got some Lion fans in here today. Let's go. It's War Week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one, welcome all. It's NFC North Talk with your host. That's me, Russell Wayne, streaming live into the Detroit Lions news. And we're streaming live into Bill the Packer fans page, Mike the Bear fans page, NFC North main event page, and of course our YouTube channel. And thank you for subscribing. All you have to do is hit that like button on the video that you're watching right now, and you're helping us get more football content out there. NFC North Talk, and we got a big game tomorrow as I welcome to the stage Emmy-nominated partner in crime, main event Mike.
Good morning, Russ. We're at 737 days since the Packers have beaten the Lions.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to get an updated version of that, man. I'm a little bit behind the curve. I missed a couple of the days, but as you can see, Quay Walker's crying in there. And as we're going to get into this, a little bit of the injury updates right here. There's some good news and some bad news. I mean, honestly, for both teams going into this matchup right here. And for the Lions, the good news is Taylor Decker was practicing in a limited form, and David Montgomery was practicing. And it looks like both those guys are going to be a go as far as good news from the Lions. That's what it says out there right now. Do not take it at face value from me because we don't report the news like Detroit Lions news does. So we might be wrong, but that's what I just read 5 minutes ago in the injury report. So that's good news for the Lions, right?
Yeah, it's good news for the Lions. I mean, both teams dinged up. Packers missed a lot of people, and they still were able to, pull out the win against a tough New Orleans team.
Oh, for sure. So on the Packers injury report, they say Jair Alexander was still limited. Bakhtiari did not practice. Devondre Campbell did not practice. Rashawn Gary was limited. Jenkins did not practice. Aaron Jones was limited, and Christian Watson was limited. So the good news for them is they may be getting back Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, but they're still down 2 offensive linemen.
Right. It's tough. It's tough when it's a Thursday night game because to read into too much what's happening on the practice field, because in a normal week when the teams are playing on a Sunday, it's really how much do they practice on Friday is what you're really looking at to see their chances of playing on Sunday. And with it being on a Tuesday or a Monday and you're playing on Thursday or Wednesday, I mean, it's just hard to gauge where they're at based on limited in practice.
Yeah, but the report does say that it looks like that they may have those guys, Aaron Jones and Watson. It's like it says that in the report as well. It says that about Decker and Montgomery too. No matter what their practice designations were, and Greg Rice was back there, and I was about ready to bring him up, but where'd he go? Where'd he go?
But I'll tell you what, if Jair Alexander is in a limited capacity, that's going to bode well for the Lions. And I think David Montgomery might be, many people out here watching, I know myself and you've probably had a thigh bruise, a deep thigh bruise. If you ever play basketball, right? And a guy runs into you with his knee right in the middle of your thigh, hurts like hell. You're done for the day. That's for sure. And it's going to hurt into next week, but seems like he's had enough time. He did say this week that if it was up to him, he'd be playing Thursday. So I do expect to see David Montgomery, especially after the comments he made.
Yeah, especially after he said that he could have went. He wanted to go on Sunday. I mean,
and that he's never beaten the Packers, and this one's important to him.
Bears are still undefeated. I don't know. maybe in some kind of like Doctor Strange type of world, or maybe in your Madden franchise.
In the worst quarterback drafting sweepstakes, they are still in the lead.
Oh, all right. There, West Coast Stat Master is in the house right here. How you doing? Welcome to the program.
Thank you, gentlemen. Sorry I'm a little late.
You're all good. We just talk football on here, and it seems like some of the people just come in and out, man. We were talking injury reports a little bit going into tomorrow's game, and some good news for both of the teams. Being that it looked like that they're saying that like Aaron Jones and Christian Watson might be okay to go. They practiced in a limited fashion. They are still. Man, what is going on over there, brother? I'm sorry. I gotta mute you on that.
Let's play. I don't know. Let's play. Guess that sound.
Yeah, I think that they were like building a franchise right behind you.
I'm gonna guess flathead shovel against concrete.
That is the correct sound, Mike. Sorry about that. We got the gas guys here. They're installing a new gas line, so don't mind.
I named that sound successfully in 3 notes.
So we got we're gonna have, it doesn't look like they're gonna have David Bakhtiari or Jenkins in this game. Neither one of those guys practiced. But it looked like they are gonna have Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, and the Lions look like they may have Taylor Decker and David Montgomery for this game. So I think it's good. It's good. It's good for you if it's good for your life. Right there.
So yeah, Packers, Lions. It doesn't get any bigger than this. 33 hours from now, it's going to come to a head, and both teams going in 2-1. Again, another kudos to the NFL schedule makers. They know exactly how to lay out the drama for us, don't they? 2-1 going into Lambeau. I feel good about it. What about you guys?
I feel great about it. I mean, I want them to get all their guys back. I want to make sure that they're in a nice and full loaded team. So when we beat them, then they won't have any excuses. But it looks like they're going to have a couple excuses as it is, and we will too. So we can have some excuses rolling our way too if we lose. But I don't think they're going to beat us. I think that we're a better team from 1 to 53, and part of it was proven last week with the depth. Part of it was proven that they actually have a deep team as well. But I think that we're better on the deeper end when you get deeper into the roster, and I think it's going to show up tomorrow night.
You know what my biggest concern for the Lions is? I'll tell you. I mean, we always talk about being able to run the ball and being able to stop the run. So let's just take that off the table. That goes for both teams every week. My concern is is the defensive line of the Detroit Lions going to be able to put some pressure on Jordan Love? The offensive line for Green Bay has only given up 1 sack in each game so far this year. So they've done a real good job of keeping Jordan Love clean, and Jordan Love's been doing a great job of getting rid of the ball quickly. So can the Detroit Lions get to Jordan Love? That's paramount for me in this game. That's what I think is going to determine this game.
Absolutely. What do you think about a Greg Rice?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Russ, I really do look at this game as a 50-50 shot. I like what the Packers have. If we're just taking all the bias out of the way, I'm glad they have Aaron Jones back, as you were alluding to. I don't want to beat a half-cocked team. So bring your best guys. It does sound like they're going to be missing Bakhtiari Jenkins, like you were alluding to. So I really do still look at it as a shot. It is partially historically based. You guys remember that long run at Lambeau. Lambeau's just not kind to any team that goes there, not just our Lions. So, I mean, in all essence, they do have that advantage. At the same time, this I'm not going to say it's a critical game because I had us going 2-2 in this first quarter stretch. But if we could surpass my expectations, I'd have absolutely no issue with it. Take full lead of the division this early would be a step in the right direction, in my opinion. And this is what good teams do. This is a hallmark of good teams. They take care of business in games that they should win.
I agree with that 100% right there. But I think that this game is monumental big for the Detroit Lions franchise. You cannot lose this game, Detroit Lions. You cannot go into Lambeau Field with an opportunity like this with a beat up offensive line and not get in there and just harass Jordan Love all day long. I mean, forget about the run game in this. They're trying to survive this without Bakhtiari and Jenkins right here. Those are 2 of their best linemen right there. And you're expecting like your second and third string guys to come in and block these guys. These guys need to eat. Because if they do lose the game, and like Robert says, we don't need excuses. They're not, I mean, they can make the excuse, though. It's Jordan Love's first year. They're $40 million behind the cap. These guys are going to be locked and loaded next year. If they win this game, it'll be an embarrassment for the Detroit Lions franchise. They need to go in and take this game if they want to be taken seriously in the NFL. This is a bigger game than Kansas City on opening day. This is for the division. I mean, they have to take this 100% serious, and they need to show Green Bay who is the dominant in the division. And it can't be Jordan Love in his first year, $40 million behind the cap.
Yeah, great take, Russ. Haven't they played the last 2 years without David Bakhtiari? I mean, isn't that guy hurt constantly? I mean, I think that their backups are capable, and they've been playing patchwork along that offensive line for the last 3 years, and they're a deep team like the Detroit Lions, and that's why these 2 teams are duking it out for the top of the division.
Yep, and that's the thing is like in this league, it doesn't matter in name. You can be the Green Bay Packers all you want, but if there's like injured up front like that, if they don't take advantage, if the Lions don't see and smell the blood in the water and take advantage of that, this is what good teams do. Oh, we got an advantage right there. They need to go in there and smash that advantage. They need to go in there and I think they should dominate this game on the line of scrimmage with what's going on. Getting Decker back. And I don't know, on defense, the Green Bay Packers are really good. I think their defense is so good that the Packers could keep them in the game. The Packers, or the defense could keep them in the game and keep Jordan Love lingering around. And that's kind of what they've done in all three of the games. I mean, he did tee off on a really bad Chicago team, but in Atlanta, they were right in there at the end. And in this last game, they ended up pulling it out. So that's what good teams can do, is they can hang around in the end, like Dan Campbell says, out in that deep water. And can you be the guy that wrestles and wins? But with the advantages that we have, defensive to offensive line, I think that we can win this game by more than one possession.
Yeah, and the stats bear out exactly what you just said, Russ. The Green Bay Packers have yet to put up 350 yards of offense. So if the defense keeps them in the game, keeps it close, they don't need to put up that much to win, which is good. But this Detroit Lions offense, it's kind of an elite offense in the league right now. Ben Johnson has this. I mean, I know they only put up 20 points last week, but they were in control of that game. They were able to run the ball. They're able to stop the run. And if that continues, it's going to be a long day for Jordan Love and Green Bay.
Yeah, and pay mind there that 20 points was also kneeling down in the red zone at the end of the game, guys. So, I mean, we were classy in that way. We could have ran away with that a lot more. And actually, Dan Campbell made a comment on it that I threw up on our Facebook page, which you should be following, by the way. I hope that you are. And it said that he thought that he wasn't aggressive enough. He thought that he didn't take enough chances in the game. He came right out and said, I want to be able to, stick the pedal to the metal. Hey, man, we want to go out there and we want to show them that there is 5 downs. Okay. There's 5 downs. That's what they told me in the back room. You guys should think that he's like this cowboy that just goes out there, man. Hey, man, I think we can get it. I got a feeling this time, guys. It's a feeling.
Russ, do you remember on game day, it's about the fourth quarter, and I look over at you and I go, fucking Dan Campbell kicking the field goal, playing smart.
We're going to buy the kneecap
and he
ball.
comes out this week and goes, yeah, I was too conservative. No, Dan, you weren't too conservative, okay? You were like a normal NFL coach.
Oh, gosh, that's fun. That's fun. Oh, man. So Ken's got 31-17. Gosh, man, it's hard for me to think either one of these teams going over 20 points. I do have the Lions going over 20 points in my prediction when I do make my prediction, but it's not by much. So Steve says Thursday night will be a good one. This is one of the biggest early matchups that we've seen in the NFL, with so much on the line right here with this.
Well, definitely the biggest matchup of the year in the NFL so far, with the most implications for sure.
Right. And with what we don't know about Jordan Love, it's like you want to see him pressed into these situations and how he handles it, into those last, because you can argue last week that he did have a game-winning drive within 2 minutes. But the thing is they could have put that pressure back on him to see what he does in the crunch time, where it's actually do or die. It was do or die for them, and they failed in the last game that they won. So I want to see what happens when it's do or die for Jordan Love and see if he can win that game, because that's not what happened.
Quick question, Russ. If the Lions were to lose to the Packers, what is that saying? Is it say more about the Packers or more about the Lions?
It says more about the Lions, because I'm going to have to come on if they lose to the Packers. And this is the guy's honest truth right here, because I've been running my mouth. I've been running these days up that the last time that they beat us, we're a better franchise than they are. We have a better team than they have right now. And I think that they need to prove that they can do that. That this is such a bigger game for the Lions in this.
I just want to be clear. You mean they're a better team, not a better franchise, right?
As the way that they're handling their franchises right now. See, this is the thing. You're in that PTSOL mode right now.
I'm just envisioning Robert. I'm just envisioning Robert yelling at his computer screen right now.
What Robert wants to say, because Robert wants to bring in everything from 1967 and forward. I'm talking about Dan Campbell's regime. Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn have ran their franchise better than the Green Bay Packers have during the time that Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn have been there. Is that better? Does that make you feel more?
All right, I just want to be clear.
I'm not trying to say that the Lions' great lineage over the years.
Historic lineage.
Green Bay Packers. No, I'm not a Packer head. I don't go out there gloating about championships that were won in 1957. I'm sorry.
The Ice Bowl.
I'm talking about relevant right here, right now, what we have in these franchises. I think they have a better team. I won't say franchise just so Robert can, I hope I'm not paying for the TV you just broke. Right.
Yeah.
There, Robert, but not a better franchise than you are. Right now, I think that the Lions are a better team. I will rephrase that just for you, Mike.
Thank you.
And what were we even talking about?
You were talking about how it's a much bigger deal for the Lions to lose this game than it is for the Pack.
It sure is, because the Pack they rest on it. Whether they want to use the excuse or not, Jordan Love is in his first year. They did have to eat $40 million worth of cap to trade Aaron Rodgers. They're so far behind the 8 ball right now that, God, if they had an 8-9 season this year, they should feel like they won the Super Bowl. Like,
I agree, Russ. So let me just chime in here. I really look at it, and a lot of the Packers fans who are realistic, they're in a situation where they really feel like they're playing with house money right now. And it's kind of a go out and prove it year. Who are these proven pieces that we need going forward? And where do we need to get better at? My issue with that is they're not as far behind as in terms of being a complete team as a lot of people think. We've talked about that defense. That defense is loaded. Offensive line is loaded. I don't think A.J. Dillon is RB2 going forward. We'll have to see which one of these receivers really emerges as wide receiver 1. I know they're high on Watson. Guy has an issue staying on the field. I do like Dobbs. Jaden Reed's played well. So essentially they're playing with house money with expectations kind of low this year. And they're still a good team in my opinion. So I don't know. You can never count the Packers out for too long, man.
So without Devondre Campbell, you think that if our offense doesn't go in there and truck stick them without Devondre Campbell and Jair Alexander, I mean, this is a game that the Lions have to win, guys. Like, these guys.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
Wounded in the water, and they do have a better team than I think people give them credit for. But they're still a human team with human players that have real injuries that are impactful injuries that they're going to have to deal with. And we're getting a couple of guys back that those are impact. Taylor Decker. I mean, gosh, that's our highest paid offensive lineman that has been out the last couple of weeks. And so it's like, that's such a huge thing when it comes to, keeping Goff upright. So then without 2 offensive linemen that are very big impact, especially Jenkins. I mean, maybe Bakhtiari's always injured, but Jenkins isn't. That's huge. Just that one side is just like, oh, shoot. And we have hungry defensive linemen that want to sack Jordan Love, and they're licking their chops right now. They're licking their chops in a division game right now.
Yeah. If the Lions defense play like they did last week, they can beat anyone, anywhere.
Right.
Agreed.
I mean, you're talking about these guys got home 7 times on a really good offensive line in Atlanta. And a really good offensive line that just beat you.
Yeah.
And man, it's teed up. It's teed up for the Lions to win this game. They should win this game. I mean, Packer fans don't even have to come in on Friday and hang their heads if they lose this game. I mean, if they come in and they put up a fight and they don't win, they'll come in with their heads held high. They'll feel good at 2-2 going, yeah, man, we're 40 million behind the cap, man. We're catching you guys. So that's why I think it could be a statement win if they can win by more than 1 possession. And if the Lions lose, I'm going to be on here Friday eating crow, double crow with cheese. Yep, yeah. I'll eat it.
Yeah,
we're going to bite a kneecap off.
But the question is, will the Packer fans be on here if they lose, or will they ghost?
Don't care. Don't care.
They'll be here. Maybe not Robert. Robert got real ghosty last year after that Commanders loss.
Ooh,
so, Robert, I've called you on it a couple times, but I hope you stick around this season.
He will. Rob's in for the long haul because he understands the dynamic of this show, that we're going to give you a hard time, but we're going to respect you for supporting your team even in the down times, because Lions fans are masters at this. At going into the middle of the season, okay, we got 3 wins. You know, we're 14 games in. You know, what do you do? What are you going to do? I still love football. I still love my team. You know, yeah. I'll still show up to the shows and, oh, yeah, you guys suck. Yeah. I mean, take your lumps. Take your lumps. And I hope that the Packer fans do it if their team does go into a tailspin this year. And that's possible, too. I don't think that the Lions are going to go in a tailspin this year. It feels real. When you look at that defense, even if you want to knock it, Greg Rice, even if you want to knock Aaron Glenn from where he's at, the biggest improvements on that defense comes in the run defense, and they have been consistently stopping the run in the first 3 games. There's no wavering in that. They may have given them some stuff up in the second on the pass end, but they still stopped the run in that game. They stopped the run against Kansas City, and they stopped the run against the best rushing attack in the league. What do you think of that, Mike? This is a good run defense, isn't it? No matter what anybody says.
They've stopped the run in every game against backs that are arguably better than Aaron Jones, or at least as good as Aaron Jones. Kenneth Walker, that offensive line was missing 2 tackles, but we were able to run between the tackles on Seattle as well. So, and like I said before, Green Bay against Chicago, they only put up 329 yards in a blowout. Against Atlanta, they only put up 224 yards while giving up 446. And against New Orleans, they only put up 340. That was their best outing of the year last week, offensively, putting up 340 yards. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think you can hold the Lions offense down for too much. All right. I mean, we've just got too much going on with Ben Johnson scheming for these players. Sam Laporta looks amazing. Great storyline in this game. Sam Laporta grew up a Green Bay Packer fan. All his friends and family are all Green Bay Packer fans. That's an interesting one. And now, look, last year, in the last game of the year in Week 18, the Lions won that game, but they were dominating the line of scrimmage, if you remember. That was the story of the game. They were getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. We were able to run the ball with Jamal right up the gut all game long. What has changed in that short span? Not much. Lucas Van Ness is a change. I'll tell you what's changed. Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. That's what's changed. The Lions should be able to win this game by more than they did in Week 18 of last year.
Yeah, and I think that they can take that's a great take, Mike. That's a great take.
Same stadium, same 2 teams. Along the defensive line, we're the same. Along the offensive line, they're the same. We should still be able to dominate the way we did in Week 18. Oh, boy, Robert, you want me to read this one? Like, it's Packer fans' fault. You guys been bums for 60 years. Great opening line, Robert. The problem is you bums haven't done it. So why do you get to talk? Because I've heard it all before for 30 years. Until you win it, stuff all the tough talk. That's all you are. Just a big windbag. Okay. Well, you know, you lost to some bums 3 times in a row. So what does that say about your team? And you're calling me a windbag? Are you calling me a windbag personally? Good God.
No, you can call me. I've been talking tough. And I get to talk.
You look like a Drew Carey Pez dispenser. Stop it.
What gives me the right to talk is, this is Dan Campbell. Your record versus Dan Campbell is 1-3. I get to talk until you even that record up. I ain't got to Dan Campbell doesn't need to make up 30 freaking games because you guys were good in 1967. Dan Campbell wasn't even born. I mean, come on. Really?
Until we win something more than the last 3 games, that is.
No, we get to talk. And that's exactly what I'm saying right here. This is why it's a bigger game for the Detroit Lions, because you have history. You have respectable history. The Lions don't have shit to go. That's why this is the villains. We're taking our respect. That's why it's the villain. That's what the villain mantra was supposed to be. You ain't going to give me my respect. Why? Why would you? Why would you? What the hell have we done in 60 years? You're not going to give me my respect. So I'm going to drive up and I'm going to take it from you. And then we're going to drive off. Come back home with our respect.
You bums.
Well, why does Jordan Love need to win this game? What's on his mind with this? Is he going to get his respect now? He wants to be as good as Rodgers. He's already not as good as Rodgers. I mean, what you're going to complete 50% of your passes right into the Hall of Fame? Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me?
22 of 44.
Yeah, all Hall of Fame quarterbacks start out with 50% completion.
Against
we don't need to complete
Falcons.
Who needs to complete passes?
Against Jeff Okuda and Mike Hughes.
So, I mean, so if the Packers are to win this game, then it's just more of the same. We'll go back. You can do the same old Lions. Fools go to Lion. And you'll have the right to. That's why this is trash talk. That's why it's fun. And I'll take it. I'll come on here on Friday and take it. You same old Lions. You guys didn't. Yeah, it was. You guys won. Here's your kudos. I'm doing my job. You guys took over my show. Like, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. But that's what it is. That's the NFC North Talk. Whoever's the king of the North, who's ever in the front of the North, is going to get to run their mouth. That's what it is, right? Who gets to run their mouth on Friday? Put it in the comments. Is it the Lions? Do I get to come on here and go, oh? That was a pretty good Tarzan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
75%?
Okay.
It's better than Jordan Love's completion percentage.
Yeah. I need you to put Robert's comment back up so I can screenshot it.
Yeah.
I could read it. I could read it in Robert's voice.
See? Robert knows he's taking over second place.
You bums.
The Packers will be taking over second place. You guys will have sole possession of second place because the other two teams are trash. So that's cool. You'll still be in second. A-Dub. What's up, A-Dub? I already had the Lions winning the division, so them winning Sunday wouldn't surprise me and upset me at the most. As my expectations aren't high this year. I should have did my A-Dub impression right there. Yeah, I've already had the Lions winning in division and had them winning on Sunday. It wouldn't surprise me or upset me at the most.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm sorry to do this to you, but they're about to blow the water line so they can get this gas line going. It's going to be super noisy. I just wanted to show my face, and I'll be back on tomorrow, you guys. God, we're going to have a good game tomorrow. What a day. I even took the day off work. We better win this or I'm losing money.
Take care, bro.
All right, gentlemen, later.
Right there. That's the West Coast stat master. Yeah, he's a little nervous. I can hear the nervousness in his voice, but I'm not going to be nervous. I feel convicted. I don't want to not be convicted going into this game, and I'm willing to talk tough. Just like in, what was that, Talladega Nights? I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to keep talking tough because I don't know what's going on right now.
I think that A-Dub's take there is very interesting because if you remember at the beginning of the year, a lot of these Packer fans, no one knew what Jordan Love was going to be. Now they're a bit excited since they won 2 out of 3 ball games, and he doesn't look terrible. He doesn't look rattled. He looks like somebody who has a lot of room for improvement, and he looks like he's equipped to make those adjustments. So definitely some guarded optimism by some Packer fans here this year. And I like A-Dub's tub. It's really telling about how these Packer fans are kind of still keeping themselves guarded because they still just don't know what Jordan Love is yet.
Right. And you know what's funny is it's like they're so defensive about it. Like, apparently, me reporting the fact that Derek Carr was injured in the game is me talking shit about the Packers. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you that Derek Carr went out in the second half, right? And it's like these things are things that you would just say, but it makes them get so defensive. What are you saying? What are you saying? He couldn't. What we were crushing. Okay, I'm not saying you didn't crush it. Your defense held up and you won the game. That's good. I'm just reporting the fact that Derek Carr went out. But I also will report that he was 13 for 18 and carving up your defense too at the time that he went out. You can't help that you sprinkled in a punt return for a touchdown in the mix where he didn't have to play an offensive possession and carve you up right there. You just didn't stop the guy from scoring a touchdown.
And your defense was stout. They only gave up 250 yards total all day. So, right. I mean, yeah, but hey, let's not take anything away. Jordan Love came back in the fourth quarter and won the freaking game. Made a great throw, made a great back shoulder throw to Romeo Doubs. So, hey, man, kudos.
And we're allowed to point out the fact of what happened in the game. I mean, if you had injured guys, you would point out that you had injured guys. That's actually the most impressive thing about the Green Bay victory was they were down about 150 players on both sides of the ball, and they still won the game. They still beat a good defense. So there you go. There's your kudos. You like that? You like that? Yeah. All right. Rob says, we shut them down last year. Sweep. Both of those games were good, though, Rob. Both of those games were down to the wire. You could argue that Aaron Rodgers lost them the first matchup. I wouldn't say that he lost them the second matchup. I thought the second matchup was just a good matchup. Like, you're talking like two heavyweights going at it to see, if one person can make it in the playoffs and the other one's trying to stop them.
Was it 15-9?
I thought it was 17-9, but yeah.
15-9, wasn't it?
Was it 15-9? Yeah.
I think so.
So, I mean, yeah, that's a long.
That's a one-score game.
That's a long, and that's they left it out there, man. That was and it could have went either way. My God, it came down to a fourth down possession, getting 2 yards to run the clock out. If they wouldn't have got the fourth down right there, Aaron Rodgers might have went right down the field and went to the playoffs. Like,
ripped our hearts out again. And that's why I like my coach, Dan Campbell. That was the one thing that he has over Jim Caldwell that I like is Jim Caldwell would always play not to lose. It was always, I'll punt the ball on 4th and inches because that's just what you do. And it's like, oh my gosh, I love the fact that he plays to win. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said, knock you out. Gosh, bite us. Who's the bums now without Rodgers? The Packs suck. Love is below average quarterback. Right now.
Maybe by completion percentage. Yeah. I mean, that is the one hole that you can poke in the Jordan Love game is that he doesn't complete a lot of his passes. He's not very accurate with the football. Sometimes he's deadly accurate on one foot doing a spin. So that's the part that you like. He can make a play and where you're like, wow, how do you do that? But in the basic everyday, just drop back, pass the ball. Sometimes he's not very accurate. Ken says, great points on the old saying that it's not what you've done, it's what you're doing. Yes. I like that. You like that? It's a great comment.
Right.
Calvin says, I kind of feel bad for the poor player that gets the wood from branch on Thursday. I do too.
I love the pun, the wood from branch.
Did you know I made a good morning post that had Rodwood on there, and I labeled it in my on my desktop as morning wood.
That's a good call, Calvin. Definitely, that's definitely a side note of this game that Brad Holmes on draft day fields a call from Brian Goody something, and he says, "Nah, I'm not really going to trade 152 to move up, but 159, yeah, we'll do that." Boom, we get Brian Branch. And you said this earlier, Russ, that you think Brian Branch might have that in his head, that this was the this was the most safety needy team in the league on draft day, and they hedged their bet looking at the teams that were between them. Didn't think the Lions would take a safety, and we move up and get Brian Branch, who's turning out to be a stud. And I wonder if Brian Branch is carrying that chip with him into the game Thursday.
I mean, you know that he is. You know how these guys are. I'm on rock and list all the wide receivers taking before him. You don't think that Brian Branch thinking that, he could have been picked as high as 6 overall. Like, I mean, we had him in these mock drafts. I mean, we needed a safety, so people were mocking Brian Branch all over the first round. Very few people had him going in the second round. And to fall in there and to know that the division rival team has traded this pick, and then you get traded to the Lions, and you don't think that's on his mind? It's on my mind, and I don't even play football. I know it's on his mind. I know he's waiting to light somebody up and prove that every single team that passed on him, especially division teams that traded picks. Ooh, gosh, he's going to be looking for Jaden Reed right over the middle. I can picture it in my head. Jordan Love lead him a little bit too much. And then, boom!
Wow, that's a great call.
Penalty.
That's a matchup I hadn't even thought about. Jaden Reed in the slot, the nickel corner being Brian Branch. That's his cover. That's going to be very interesting. Two very promising rookies.
Two very promising rookies, and they're going to be tied to each other for the rest of their careers for the next 10 years. Jaden Reed, Brian Branch. I mean, they'll be on that. Beth says Lions. We got some Lions people in here. David says that we need Decker so bad. Would you list that order, which injured players? I absolutely will do that. And let me do that for you right now. Here is the injury list for the Lions. Jason Kabinda did not practice. Taylor Decker.
Bottom of the list. Kabinda, if he wants us to list them in order, I got to start Kabinda at the bottom. Order which would you list in order which injured players Lions need back the most? I would put Kabinda at the bottom of the most list.
Okay, so yeah, we would definitely. Let me read that again. We need Decker so bad. Would you list the order of the injured players that the Lions need back the most? I would say Decker and Montgomery. I mean, Kirby Joseph didn't play last week. That would be huge. Emmanuel Mosley practiced. So that would be huge if we could get him back. Frank Ragnow full practiced. Obviously, Haloti Pudi Vaitai is out for, we're still going to have to figure some stuff out at guard, but it does look like Decker's going to play. That's what all the signs, that's what the report says right there. And then on the Packers side, you're looking at Jair Alexander, David Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, Eldon Jenkins, and Valentine. They were all didn't practice. Oh, no, wait. Valentine practiced in a limited capacity. And they're saying that Aaron Jones and Watson are going to be in there. And Valentine looks like he won't be in there. They're not going to have Devondre Campbell. They might not have Rashawn Gary. I mean, we don't know there. So they're beat up. The Packers are very beat up. And we're getting a couple key pieces back with Decker and Montgomery for sure. I'm not too sure about Kirby Joseph. That would be nice, but Iffy and Tracy Walker seemed to be fine last week. So I don't know.
If I had to list an order for me, it's going to be Decker and Vaitai at the top of that list. And then even the guys that got hurt last week, Skipper and Scott Nelson, that are way down the depth chart. But that offensive line staying healthy is huge for us. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs, Craig Reynolds. They can run the ball. Yeah, David Montgomery's important, but to me, he's not as important as Vaitai and Decker. He would fall in the middle of the list. I would definitely put Kabinda as far as who we need back the most. I'd put him at the bottom. Yeah. And everybody's healthy on the wide receiver core, right? I mean, Reynolds isn't hurt. Khalif isn't hurt. Amon Ra's got a toe, but he's playing. So, I mean, the skill positions, Jared Goff's still looking good. So it's that offensive line for me. Yeah, Kirby Joseph would be great. CJ Gardner-Johnson, we know is gone for the year. Obviously, he'd be at the top of a list, want him back most.
Well, obviously, I didn't know that we were listing guys that
We're not. I'm just saying.
I didn't know that's what he was asking for.
No, that's just my job as a talking head.
Yes, I would love to have all of our best players back this week, David. One Funky Lion fan says the Pack fans act as if they still have the last chip team. Sadly, none of those people that were part of that last chip were even in the building anymore. Seriously, no one in the division should even talk. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, One Funky Lions fan. We're talking. We're up here talking, and nobody can stop us from being up here talking. And we're going to talk because we have a right to talk. We've won the last 3 games against these guys. We can talk. Yeah, none of us in the division have won a championship in 10 years. Right. None of us should be going, yeah, man, we're the greatest team. We're going to win the Lombardi. I mean, I don't know about that. But there's no reason.
Are we even going to talk about the Vikings and Bears today?
Why? Why would you want to do that? I mean, my viewers are up at 50 right now because I think people actually want to talk about this. You want me? Okay, let's talk about the Vikings.
No, we don't have to. I'm just
no. We're going to do that. We're going to watch these viewers go down right here. Talk about the interesting Vikings right here. Look, it's teed up for you guys. Bears and Vikings, right? The Bears and Vikings. You're playing. You're playing the Carolina Panthers, Vikings. And you're playing the Denver Broncos, who might suck worse than you do. Like, it is teed up. There could be a victory at the bottom of this division, Mike. Do you think? You think the Vikings are the ones?
The Vikings have to win against Carolina. You know why? Because the next game's against Kansas City. They have to win against the Panthers, or they're going to go 0-5. 1-4 isn't great, but it's better than 0-5. They have got to win the Panthers. I might even take them in my survival league now because the desperation on that team against Carolina is going to be at an all-time high.
Well, but then when you're looking at this other team right here, I mean, Denver just let somebody put 70 points on you. You think that Justin Fields could, maybe get right on a defense that's that bad? Maybe he can score some points this week. I mean, you might let Justin Fields look good, Denver.
I mean, Carolina hasn't won a game. Minnesota has Denver won a game? They're 0-3. All 4 of those teams haven't won a game yet.
They're having an O-for party.
It's the toilet bowl.
The toilet bowl. They're all playing around in there, throwing poop at each other. Yeah, we're having fun down here.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody. We're getting a victory. Somebody that's winless is going to get a victory.
I think it's got to be the Vikings, which brings us to our Skol acronym of the day. Kwesi has done such a bad job, in my opinion. So its Skol acronym today is: should Kwesi offer letter of resignation?
Right now, this is all they have.
The Jay Cutler book of excuses.
Straight from the author, Jay Cutler, the book of excuses for the Minnesota Vikings fans. Are we done? I only lost 6 viewers during that time, so let's count our chickens. Let's go and count our blessings. Right? Oh, we just lost another one. All right. Brad Holmes is one of the greatest general managers of our time. Right there. Look at that guy right there. Hey, why don't you go ahead and plug the show? Plug the
I will plug the show. I will plug the show, but I want to remind everyone to please subscribe to the YouTube channel at Main Event 365 and to please follow the page Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We are in a race with some douchebags and we're catching them quick, and we need your help. Please subscribe to our YouTube and please follow the page Detroit Lions Villain Squad. And Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's our trash talk show. It's called the NFC North Open Mic Night. I host it, and Russ here is the producer, and we bring a bunch of Packer heads and Bears and Vikings fans in there, and we talk smack, so leave your thin skin at the door. NFC North Open Mic Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. And this has been NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. And this is something that I love doing every single morning right here. And it is War Week. And this is the funnest week possible. We're going to do a review of the game tomorrow morning when we get in here. I might even invite some of the other fan base in here at the end so we can get a little bit of trash talk in here tomorrow morning. I've had a lot of fun today. This is such a fun week in War Week here, the NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne every morning at 11 a.m. And for all of you that have smashed that subscribe button, we got 20 people on the YouTube right now. If you can please just take the time real quick while you're on there and just hit the like button on the video for me, please. That helps us out and makes it, and plus it helps our egos too. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because we really, really appreciate that. And we appreciate having the opportunity to do this each and every day. So for everybody that's out there listening still right here and right now, may the Lord keep you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., baby. Go for it. One pride. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching the broadcast today. If you haven't already, take the time, please, pretty please, go to the YouTube channel that I'm throwing into the comments right now. Give us a subscribe, like the video. NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. NFC North Open Mic, Main Event Mike, every Monday. A little trash talk. Never hurt nobody. Be nice. The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC North?
It's my quarterback.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.